Welcome everybody to, um, I'm not sure what to call it, like the aftermath is kind of what I've been calling it in my mind. Like this is like our current reality, you know, all ensconced in one place and one time. I'm happy to see you guys here today, and I will be pretty efficient, I hope, with our time. Run you through an agenda here in just a second, and I'll show you. Basically, today's course is going to show you how we've reorganized PLC II for the rest of the semester. Show you how we're going to lens both this class and the curriculum instruction class through here. And I'll give you the rundown of kind of what we're going to do, and then we'll get you out of here as early as we can, so you can go back and take naps, or whatever it is, do push-ups or run around the house, or play with the dog, or whatever it is that you're doing these days. So if you're in a place with other people and you're afraid that they're going to like run across the screen or something like that, that's okay. I'm in a house with 3 kids, a dog, a cat, and my wife, and we may get interrupted. You never know. So it's okay. And the other thing that I would say is, I don't know what your reality is now. I imagine it's somewhat similar to mine, meaning that there's a lot of other responsibilities that might have crept up in the long run. So we're going to meet, as far as I understand, the other PLCs are going to meet every week too, and we will as well. But I will always video these sessions, so if there's something that comes up, or some responsibilities that you have, or just other things, if they creep up and you can't make it, it's going to be okay. The recording will be there, and we will make do. That's like the whole thing of the rest of the semester. We will make do, and we will make the best of it, I think. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you the agenda here. This is on our course website, so I would encourage you, if you have the ability to get onto our course website, go ahead and do that, because I'm going to break you up into small groups here in just a few moments, so you can address a few questions that I'm going to ask of you. Give me a thumbs up if you can kind of see the agenda as it pops up on the screen. Okay. So basically, the first thing is, what will this class look like for the rest of the semester? Well, as I show you, I'm going to show you the modules here. It does look a little different than maybe when you last tuned into the class. All these other weeks that you can see on here, I've gotten rid of those. You won't be able to see those anymore. But what we've done is we've just gone online week 1, week 2, etc., and you can kind of see through that. And so I have left the hot topic stuff in there, and I'm hopeful that I can still make use of that. I'll explain what I want to do with that here in just a second. But you can kind of see how the class is organized here. Every week I'll try to put an agenda on the for the week there, so we can kind of follow through that. And every week after class is done, I'll go ahead and post the video too. So again, if there's ever something that you can't make, that'll be okay. You can come back and watch the video and do the assignments based on that. How will you be graded? Well, stop here for a second. I think that you should have received an email from me talking about a COVID-19 grade, just like a general head bob. If you've seen the email, okay. By privacy, by HIPAA regulations, I can't email you a grade, but it should be available in the grade book. It'll say COVID-19 grade. It'll have a letter grade, and according to policy, your grade can't go down more than 1 letter, and you can raise it indefinitely. But I will tell you flat out that your grade is not going to go down. As I said, there's so many things that are going on in this semester that, I think we all have a lot of room for grace and compassion. So the only thing that I would ask is, if you're going to be absent for a lot of the time that we're here, that you just kind of communicate with me, email me, or we can do a one-on-one Zoom or something, just to make sure that you're on the same page with everything that's going on. Let me reshare here. As far as the hot topic stuff goes, as far as hot topic information, I still have all of the things that your group sent into me, and I'm hopeful that beginning next week, I can pull from that and let you have some conversations around those hot topics. That's what other PLC IIs are doing, and so that's, I think, what I'll do as well. And so we'll still make use of those hot topic videos, documents, and questions that you turned in, and we'll try to lens that around some of the other stuff that we've reorganized the PLC II to be. So what we'll do now is I'm going to assign you into some breakout rooms, into some small groups, and there's a series of questions that I have in our agenda, and I want you to kind of try to build some background knowledge in your small groups about what it is that we're going to do in this PLC for the rest of the semester. So one more time, let me share this screen with you, and I'll show you the questions. So as as we check in with our small groups, there'll probably be like 3 of you in each group. I just do some quick check-ins. What's your name? It's been a long time since we've seen each other. We probably should reintroduce ourselves to each other in some cases. So who are you? Where are you? As in, I'm thinking like your physical location, but if you want to go like existentially, I'm in a state of constant dread or whatever it is that you want to talk about, that's fine. And then we're going to get into some of the content that we'll use throughout this course for the rest of the semester. Well, that's not true. I have one other question. On a scale of 1 through 5, with 5 being the highest, how stir crazy are you right now? Yesterday, my children did a parade around the house, like an actual legit parade. So that's how stir crazy we are right now. And then we get into the content that we're going to try to talk about for the rest of the semester. And that matches in very, very close fashion what you're doing in the curriculum and instruction class. So I'm going to ask you what you know about Robert Marzano, about John Hattie, about this guy named Phillip Schlechty, about Bloom's taxonomy, and about the work of John Antonetti. And some of those folks you may know a little bit about, and some of them this may be the first time in your life that you've ever heard of them, and that's okay. But I just want you to try to build some background knowledge amongst your group mates about those things, and then I'll show you a little bit more about each of those things. I'll show you a video that I want you to watch before next week, and then we're going to get out. So for now, we will go into our breakout rooms. I would encourage you to ask and answer those questions of each other. I believe that I'll give you about 7 or 8 minutes to do that in your small group, and then I will call you back here. We'll go through, try to break those things down a little bit more in our large group setting. I'll show you the video, and then, like I said, we'll head out. So I'm going to create those breakout rooms. I'm going to do 5 rooms. There'll be 3 of you in each room, and I'll send you a message to call you back here in about 7 minutes. So see you on the other side. All right, some of us are starting to trickle back in. Emily, that's a Blues jersey that you got on there. You should have paid attention to the class dress code, and that's not on the list. So.
Well, sorry.
That's right. I did see, not at Northwest, but I did see that a professor at one university had to send an email to his students to remind them to wear clothes during the Zoom session. So thank you for that, at least. We take baby steps, but I guess the other thing I would say is, if you're new to Zoom, which by now you guys are probably old hat at it, but remember, you can always mute yourselves by kind of running your cursor on the upper right of your square. And you can also shut off your video. Let's see, I think that, yeah, there's literally a button there that says stop video, and it'll just, in some cases, it'll turn you into a name, and in some cases, it'll turn you into like a little Weeble-like person. So there we go. So there we go. So you can always do those. And I learned the other day that I can actually mute people. And so for that reason, Zoom might be literally the greatest thing that's ever been invented. So Lydia, I just muted you. There. Oops, sorry. There we go. I unmuted you. No, I didn't. I unmuted you. There you go. So this, Lindsay, boom, just muted you. So in a way, this could be the greatest thing that's ever happened to me anyway. I don't know about you guys, but okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you one more time. And in your smaller groups, you talked about, I'm hopeful that you talked at least a little bit about Marzano and Hattie. If you were in curriculum and instruction with me yesterday, you would have seen a little bit about those guys. So maybe you could have spoken to the readings that you skimmed. Schlechty is probably new to you. Antonetti is probably new to you, and hopefully either through what you learned in the ecology class or in the developmental foundations, you have a working knowledge, and actually even in principles of assessment, hopefully you have a working knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy. So I'm going to go back to our course module here for week 1 of our online stuff, and we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of some of the things you'll need to be successful in this course and actually in the curriculum instruction course through the rest of the semester. So I'm going to open up this thing called Cube, and just give me a thumbs up if you can kind of see what I'm showing you here. It's a little smaller than I would want it to be. I'm going to see if I do that. Does it get bigger on your screens too, or does it just get bigger on my screen? Got bigger on your screen? Okay.
Coming out of his throat, then his brain going out the top of his head.
All right, somebody's broadcasting some TV or something on there right now, so be sure that you're muted. There we go. So in a few moments, I'm going to introduce you to a video that has Mrs. Baker talking about the work of a man named John Antonetti. And John Antonetti has essentially for years was a teacher, practicing teacher, has kind of retired from the classroom, but has modeled what he calls Antonetti's cube, which takes the work of 3 different people. If you look at the top of the cube, these high yield instructional strategies, they're from Robert Marzano. And so hopefully you were able to skim at least a little bit of what we showed you in curriculum instruction. These are 5 of the 9 high yield instructional strategies from Robert Marzano. If you look at the right side of the cube where he's got big idea thinking, synthesis, evaluation, analysis, application, that's from Bloom's taxonomy. And then the front of the cube is modeled after the work of Schlechty, and we'll get into Phillip Schlechty stuff over the next few weeks here, and maybe a little bit in the curriculum instruction class as well. But you can look at the different ways that students are engaged in class. And so what we want you to realize is that as you plan for your instruction, and that's what the curriculum instruction course is about, and that's what we're going to process in the framework of our PLC II course. As you plan for instruction, if you look at this cube and you pick generally one thing from each side of the cube and try to build that into your lesson, then what you're going to have is an effective lesson. And so we'll teach you more about how to do that over the course of this semester and the rest of the time that you're in our program with us. So that's the cube. Everything that we do in this course is going to be modeled through that cube. It's going to be lensed through that cube over the next few weeks. So notice, especially the work of Schlechty, if you remember the front of that cube, then look at online week 2. It says analyzing instruction for personal response and clear modeled expectations. Well, that's stuff right off the front of the cube, okay? And then what we're going to ask you to do over the next several weeks is to look at different lessons. You can see them here. Pick one for your particular area. And we're not going to be perfect, but there's middle school, there's grade school, and I think that the top one is a high school math class. So we'll try to get the different levels, even if we can't get you to the right content areas. And so we're going to ask you to look at these lessons and try to lens what you're seeing through those models. So it'll be important to have a fairly decent working knowledge of the cube and what it's used for. There's some other visuals here too. Marzano's stuff is there, Schlechty's there, Bloom's is there. You can kind of take a look through those. The other thing that I want you to take a look at is the Antonetti's cube video. I'm going to open this. Apparently I have not signed into my Gmail account. Hopefully you have Gmail accounts and you'll be able to do that. So the thing that I need you to do shortly after we get done with this video, with this live stream, is to make sure that you have access to the cube video, okay? this is Mrs. Baker for about 45 minutes going through the different aspects of that cube and how you're going to use them throughout the course of the rest of this semester. So do take a look at that shortly after we get done here and make sure you have access to it. If you don't, I'll have to figure out a different way to get it to you. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. Questions about anything that we just saw or just heard right there? There was a lot of stuff to kind of throw at you. You have any questions about what you just heard and how we're going to use it? Okay, so just to kind of sum up here, watch the video for sure. That video is going to help you understand the different ways that you're going to process your observations throughout the rest of the semester. Okay. When we come back next week, we'll look at our first, I'll show you the first lessons with the cube. We'll kind of talk through what that means and what you need to do for that. We'll also do one of the hot topics. If you come to class, you will not need to come to class. You know what I'm saying? If you actually show up here in cyberspace, then you won't have to do any writing responses. If you're not in the course, then I'll ask you to do a writing response to the hot topic stuff. But as long as you're here, you won't have to do anything outside of class with that. Trying to think of other things that I need to tell you before I let you go. I think the biggest thing that I would say as we wrap up is I will be very flexible, very flexible with your schedules and what's going on. The only thing I would ask once again is if you're going to be out for like an extended period of time, like if you're just, you know, if things have come up, just keep me in the loop. You don't have to like delve into every aspect of what it is that's going on, but just keep me in the loop as to what's happening so that I don't have to wonder about why you wouldn't be here. Okay. Other than that, any questions, any final thoughts for the good of the team? All right, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend and be safe. Take care.